When they found her body, there were 2 beer cans that had DNA on them.
Yes.
And those beer cans were tested. And the analysis of those beer cans excluded you. But 2 other potential suspects, a former Bastrop police officer, Ed Salmella, who's now dead apparently by suicide, who his brother says he doesn't believe it was suicide.
Neither do I.
And then there was also a police officer, David Hall, who was a good friend and neighbor of Jimmy's.
He's still alive.
Yeah, he's still alive, but he could not be excluded by those.
He couldn't be excluded.
Okay. Joe Bryant was a gentleman who was conducting an unauthorized investigation into Stacy's killing, and he was supposedly gunned down by a migrant worker from Mexico. What do you think of that?
I honestly think that they used that Hispanic guy as a scapegoat.
Well, Joe Bryant's widow, Maria, has made the statement that before he was killed, he told her straight up that he thought the killer was Jimmy Fennell, and shortly thereafter he was shot and killed.
Yeah.
There's 2 people involved here. There's one whose DNA is on beer cans close to where the body is found. Another that's investigating the murder has concluded it's not you. Both of them are dead. What do you say to yourself about that?
Looked like a cover-up to me.
Well, Bob Phillips has been a criminal attorney for over 40 years. He represents Jimmy Fennell, and he's here along with Rodney's attorney from the Innocence Project, Bryce Benjett, retired NYPD Detective Sergeant Kevin Gannon, and victimologist Dr. Lee Gilbertson. So thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate it. This doesn't look good for him, obviously, in light of being suspect in the case of Stacy Stites.
What doesn't look good for him?
The fact that he has a violent history with women and rape, because it means that behavior is not totally foreign to him. Would you agree?
Well, you produced one case, and he pled guilty to that particular case. Frankly, I was hoping we would go all the way to trial. I thought we had a very good chance to win that case, and he is now out. And he's a completely changed individual. He's actually in Christian ministry now, and I know the skeptics in the audience are probably snickering. I would be too, had I not met him 10 years ago, and now today.
Well, in fairness, I have to say I have seen jailhouse conversions that, they're like foxhole Christians.
Well, I know they're irrelevant to whether he did this offense.
But then I've seen those that have really taken stock and seriously changed their value system and who they are and how they think and how they behave for the whole rest of their lives.
And I know it'll take several years to determine if this one's
Exactly.
real, but I happen to believe it is.
But that comes after the fact that someone has been killed, and there are people that think that he may be the one that did that. And there's no direct evidence that he did, and I'm the first to say that. There's also no direct evidence that Rodney Reed did.
Well, there is actually, at least plenty of circumstantial evidence. There were 6 women waiting in the wings to testify about his violent rape of them.
You will acknowledge he's never been convicted of any of those, and there are other complaints against your client as well. So you want to talk goose, we'll talk gander.